Good morning, everyone. It's cold on the Wooten farm and it's gonna get colder. Well, so be it. I got a fire going. I got Bo laying here, nice and close to the fire, our short haired dog. And I started my Christmas tree. When it's done, I'll show you guys my Christmas tree this year. That's stuff I come up with, and I love it. All right. Something's been on my mind. First of all, if one tries to figure everything out, right? Yes, my nose is cold. If one tries to figure everything out and how it's actually supposed to be working, this and have the answers for all, well, that's not going to happen. Mankind is nowhere close to that when it comes to knowing God's will, having been guided and taught by God, God's will. Yes? All right. But there's something in the divine principle I came across I very much understood and resonated with, except for, it's the dual characteristics of God and everything. That is why God's not just masculine, as we call him Father, Heavenly Father, right? But he also has feminine qualities. Well, of course, he created who? Woman, right? How are you going to do that if you have no clue what woman is? All right. Or on how that's supposed to work. Well, of course, he had a lot of practice, right, with the animals and the plants, because they're too. Everything has dual characteristics there as well. Male and female, stem and piston, and stuff like that. Okay? All right. Anyway, and if you think left and right, up and down, okay, big and small, all right. Yes? Yeah? Oh, wait a minute, there's medium. Okay, that's what we say. All right. Aha, right there. But then there's also good and evil. Ugh, that just doesn't fit my narrative on how I know God. It just doesn't. But that's a dual characteristic too. Is it good and evil? Or is it good and bad? Oh, what's that now? Is there a difference? When I think about these things, and I want to think about it from the point of view of whom? Of course, God, my parent, father or mother or both as parents. So either way on how one tries to understand God, right? His will, his desire, which is always good. There's no dual characteristics in good, except for love. Then there's tough love. Would you let someone just walk into the fire while watching? Or would you try to stop the person? What if the person doesn't want to be stopped? Are you going to fight and hold on to that person for dear life? Would you walk with that person into that fire? We're still learning, yes? What I find, though, the sad thing is that because our understanding is so limited when it comes to many different things, again, on what it is to actually live as mankind on earth, we tend to twist things around so they fit what? Our narrative. The thing, if we start doing that, if we start just acting upon our own will and desires rather than God's, right, then what are we doing? We're changing the painting. We're changing the stability, the foundation of a house. Yes? Okay. For better or worse. Mankind's not known to do better than God. And then suddenly you got all kinds of things floating around out there. Again, to fit whose narrative? And then the doubts start. Yes? I said, we don't know. We just haven't figured out. Do we need to figure everything out? We know there's right and there's wrong. Yes? And I said, we concentrate so much on the wrong that we're forgetting that we need to practice right. All right, started out with that. And that old nasty couch is going out there. We're doing a dump run today. Yes. It's a good thing. Just before winter hits. Okay, so we are in the first book of Kings on 7. Solomon's Palace. Oh. First we had the temple building. Good foundation then to have an excuse to build your own palace. All right. As regards his palace, Solomon spent 13 years on it before the building was completed. 7 years on the temple, only 7 years, 13 years on his own palace. Okay. We all know who's more important here. He built the house of the forest of Lebanon, 100 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, on 4 rows of cedar wood pillars, with lengths of cedar wood laid horizontally on the pillars. The upper part was paneled with cedar right down to the tie beams on 45 pillars, 15 in each row. There were 3 rows of window frames, with the windows corresponding to one another at 3 levels. All the doorways and windows were rectangular, with the windows corresponding to one another at 3 levels. He also made the colonnade, 50 cubits long and 30 cubits broad, with a cornice in front. He also made the hall of the throne, where he used to dispense justice, that is, the hall of justice. It was paneled in cedar from floor to beams. Do you guys remember where justice was supposed to be taken care of? At the beginning, when the Ark of the Covenant was finished and done? Where is it done now? Why did he build that temple? Okay. If you don't remember, go back and read up on it. His own living quarters in the other court and inwards from the hall were of the same construction, and there was a house similar to this hall for Pharaoh's daughter, whom he had taken in marriage. All these buildings were of special stones cut to measure, trimmed on the inner and outer sides with the saw from the foundations to the coping. The foundations were of special stones, huge stones of 10 and 8 cubits. They didn't tell us, right, exactly how that foundation worked in the temple, but we know now here. Okay. And above these special stones cut to measure in cedar wood, and on the outside the great court had 3 courses of dressed stone rounded and 1 course of cedar beams. So also had the inner court of the temple of Yahweh and the vestibule of the temple. Ooh, yes, let's make the connection here on how, yeah, okay, I gotcha, all right. Oh my God, I find this so funny. All right, let's keep going. There's more. A lot more, actually. Hiram, the bronze worker. Oh, we're finding out a little something about the workers now. King Solomon sent for Hiram of Tyre. He was the son of a widow of the tribe of Naphtali, but his father had been a Tyrian, a bronze worker. He was a highly intelligent craftsman skilled in all types of bronze work. He came to King Solomon and did all this work for him. So let's see. His father had been a Tyrian, a bronze worker. Interesting. The bronze pillars. He cast the 2 bronze pillars. The height of one pillar was 18 cubits, and a cord 12 cubits long gave the measurement of its girth. So also was the second pillar. He made 2 capitals of cast bronze for the tops of the pillars. The height of one capital was 5 cubits, and the height of the other 5 cubits. He made 2 sets of filigree to cover the molding of the 2 capitals surmounting the pillars, 1 filigree for one capital and 1 filigree for the other. All right, there's something else here too. If you guys remember, Yahweh, God, gave Moses specific instructions, and Aaron specific instructions on how big the Ark of the Covenant, the tent of the Ark of the Covenant, the surrounding place, everything, the fire pit, everything. God was the one who gave all these instructions, according to what we read, if we want to believe that. How about here? It only says, yeah, if you build that temple, I'll keep all my promises to you. Right? Yes, that's how God works. But no instructions on how to actually build that temple. It's all Solomon's ideas. And if you listen, he's also building his palace kind of in the, okay, certain things that the temple has, his palace has. I find that interesting. Yes? Okay. What's Solomon actually doing? People? So during the time that he reigned, 40 years into it, he started with the temple, then he started with the palace. That dude was way too busy to actually govern his people, if you ask me. Yes? All right. Don't know. Maybe the reason they had some peace there and all that, which we'll find out if that's true or not, was because everybody's resources were just exhausted. Everybody was tired of fighting. I mean, how long have they been doing this? 400 years plus? Everybody's tired of fighting. We gotta grow some food. We gotta raise some more horses, this, that, and the soldiers. How many are actually left? You know what I mean? Huh? So, what's that peace that actually happened at that time? Oh, because Yahweh had something to do with it and said, hey, if you're going to kill all the people, I'm going to give you peace. If you build me a temple, I'm going to give you peace. What is that? This doesn't sound right. It sounds to me more like they're all exhausted. They're all exhausted everything. Yet here, Solomon's building a temple and a palace, but it's taken him quite a bit of time. Yes? All right, just saying. Yeah? Looks can be deceiving. Right? And the reason why they weren't fighting each other anymore, might be something completely different. There may be many different reasons why they stopped fighting. Right? Yeah, the credit was all given to whom? All right. From what it sounds like, though, as I said, the whys and whatever, I haven't found that one yet. He also made pomegranates, 2 rows of them round each filigree, 400 in all. He didn't do nothing of that. Oh, unless here they're talking about Hiram. Applied on the raised molding behind the filigree. There were 200 pomegranates round one capital, and the same round the other capital. The capitals surrounding the pillars were lily-shaped. He erected the pillars in front of the portico of the temple. He erected the right-hand pillar and named it Yachin. He erected the left-hand pillar and named it Boaz. Thus the work on the pillars was completed. I wonder why he named them that. Who cares? The bronze sea. He made the sea of cast metal. The sea? 10 cubits from rim to rim, circular in shape, and 5 cubits high. A cord 30 cubits long gave the measurement of its girth. Under its rim, the sea, the bronze sea? What the heck is that? Under its rim and completely encircling it were gourds surrounding the sea. I was going to go and find out about the temple. Now I need to go on. Well, all right, I'll read up on the palace and the temple both together. What the heck is that? The bronze sea. It's spelled like S-E-A, like ocean, water. But it's made of bronze. It rested on 12 oxen, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, 3 facing east. On these their hind quarters all turned inwards stood the sea. It was a hand's breadth in thickness, and its rim was shaped like the rim of a cup, lily shaped. It could hold 2,000 measures. Wow. I'd say Solomon should move into the temple, and if God his palace sounds way more fantastic and valuable. Bronze sea. Something's backwards here. The wheeled stands and the bronze basins. He made the 10 bronze stands. Each stand was 4 cubits long, 4 cubits wide, and 3 high. They were designed as follows. They had an undercarriage and cross pieces to the undercarriage. On the cross pieces of the undercarriage were lions and bulls and winged creatures, and on top of the undercarriage was a support under the lions and oxen. There were scrolls in the style of ... It doesn't say. I wonder why not. Each stand had 4 bronze wheels with bronze axles. Its 4 feet had shoulderings under the basin, and the shoulderings were cast ... Weird. Its mouth measured 1.5 cubits from where the shoulderings met to the top. Its mouth was round like a stand for a vessel. I find it interesting, again, so you have to forgive me when I stop and go, well, wait a second, what? Winged creatures. Well, if they're not angels, kind of depicted as angels, then what are they? Because here they are thrown in with lions and oxen. Yeah. Lions and bulls. On the cross pieces, the undercarriage were lions and bulls and winged creatures. So what were these winged creatures? To throw them in with lions and bulls. I'm just wondering, how does that work? I mean, angels, the way, okay, maybe at the time they didn't have any understanding of, they knew about messengers. Oh, they didn't look like winged creatures. Okay. We don't understand everything, right? But I'm kind of understanding what's going on here. We seem to know man, us because we're man, right? Yes, mankind. Does mankind understand mankind? I'd say we do. We do quite well in doing that. Yes? And if you ask me, from what I'm just reading here, there's some idol worshiping going on here in Solomon's palace. No? Alrighty. Whatever. ... And on the mouth there were engravings too. The cross pieces, however, were rectangular and not round. The 4 wheels were under the cross pieces. The axles of the wheels were inside the stands. The height of the wheels was 1.5 cubits. The wheels were designed like chariot wheels. Their axles, fellow, spokes and naves had all been cast. There were 4 shoulderings at the 4 corners of each stand. The stand and the shoulderings were all of a piece. At the top of the stand there was a support, circular in shape, and 1/2 cubit high. And on the top of the stand there were lugs. The cross pieces were of a piece with the stand. I'm getting more information about this bronze sea than we did about the temple. I'm not kidding. This is really interesting. One piece. This is just one piece. Seems like a movable piece in Solomon's palace. Gets more. It's more. Okay, whatever. It's weird. This is just weird. On the bands, he engraved winged creatures and lions and palm leaves and scrolls and palm leaves dot 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 and scrolls right round dot dot dot. Why are they leaving all this out? I have no idea. Ooh, don't mention that. Ooh, that would actually say what I just already said. We got some idol worshiping going on here in Solomon's palace. He made the 10 stands like this, the same casting and the same measurements for all. He made 10 bronze basins. Each basin held 40 measures, and each basin measured 4 cubits, 1 basin to each of the 10 stands. He arranged the stands, 5 on the right-hand side of the temple, 5 on the left-hand side of the temple. The sea he placed on the right-hand side of the temple to the southeast. I thought we were talking about how does this... Oh, what just happened here? I thought we were talking about Solomon's palace. How come the temple suddenly is involved here now? Whoopsie-woo. Told you. Huh. What happened here? Wow. Somebody noticed something and said, we're going to have to confuse people here a bit. Ooh. The utensil. Summary. Hiram made the ash containers, the scoops, and the sprinkling bowls. He finished all the work that he did for King Solomon on the temple of Yahweh. Wait a minute. Weren't we talking about Solomon's palace? But if I missed something here, I apologize. I don't think I did. All right, let's keep reading. 2 pillars, the 2 moldings of the capital surrounding the pillars, the 2 sets of filigree to cover the 2 moldings of the capital surmounting the pillars, the 400 pomegranates for the 2 sets of filigree, 2 rows of pomegranates for each set of filigree, the 10 stands and the 10 basins on the stands, the 1 sea and the 12 oxen beneath the sea, the ash containers, the scoops and sprinkling bowls. All these objects made by Hiram for King Solomon for the temple of Yahweh were of burnished bronze. He made them by the process of sand casting in the plain of the Jordan between Succoth and Sarathan. Oh, honey, you need to... Okay, gotcha. There were so many of them that the weight of the bronze was never calculated. Really? That's a new... yeah, right. Okay. Solomon made all the objects designed for the temple of Yahweh. The golden altar and the gold table for the loaves of permanent offering, the lampstands, 5 on the right and 5 on the left in front of the debir. Wait a minute, we already had that. Of pure gold, the floral work, the lamps, the tons of gold, the basins, the snuffers, the sprinkling bowls, the incense ladles, and the pans of real gold, the door panels for the inner shrine, that is, the Holy of Holies, and for the hekel of gold. That's what I thought. Everything in there was made of gold. Then the bronze suddenly came in somewhere. Whoa, you guys fixed this nicely, didn't you? Thus all the work done by King Solomon for the temple of Yahweh was completed, and Solomon brought in the gifts which his father David had consecrated, and he had the silver, the gold, and the utensils put into the treasuries of the temple of Yahweh. That's the end of 7. Now, we had in 6 the temple building. And it tells everything. And it tells us when it was done. That's it. Then it says Solomon's palace. And it starts, as regards his palace, Solomon spent 13 years on it before the building was completed. He built the house of the forest of Lebanon, 100 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, on four, blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly somewhere here, and then down here it says, so also, okay, and on the outside, the great court had 3 courses of dressed stone round it, and 1 course of cedar beams. So also at the inner court of the temple of Yahweh and the vestibule of the temple. Okay, so here it says that the temple also had certain things done in exactly the same way as Solomon had in his palace. That's what I understand. Then here comes Hiram, the bronze worker. Okay, who did all the gold work? Where is the dude who was the gold worker? Oh, the bronze worker is the same as the gold worker. It doesn't say so. Just saying. Okay. And then suddenly, so here we are, okay, so that's his palace. And then suddenly, somewhere, it's talking about the temple again. What's going on here? Not getting it. Oh, I'm getting it. But why is it in here like this? That's about as confusing as it can get. What was Solomon doing? I wonder. And how did he think he was going to get away with that? Okay, so there it is. I know. I have no doubt that some people will come up with some explanations again and say, well, whatever. Okay? If things went so right at that time, at King Solomon's time, then wouldn't there be some proof of that still showing itself now? Wouldn't there? Are God's promises just gone with the wind when he decides so? If Solomon would have really been this sage of a king and wise and, I don't know, intelligent and I don't know what, then why can't we see still the results of that? And the promises that God made to his people there. Oh, they're not his people anymore, are they? Whose people are they really? So, I'm asking. I don't have all the answers. I know when I read something, I'm going, oh, okay. Are you trying to hoodwink me here or something? Because it's not computing. It's that if you do the math, if you were to do the math with what we're reading and you were to translate it into math, you wouldn't be getting the correct answer. All right. That's what I have to share this morning. Yes, I got things to do. I want to work upstairs some. I've got some. If you want to believe, I saw one said, don't tell. We believe in Santa Claus. The children in our home believe in Santa Claus, so please don't tell them. And I'm going to have that. What did it say? That castle in the sky. All right, Danielle. That magic going for as long as possible. So please don't tell them Santa Claus doesn't exist. Well, I won't do that anyway. That's up to the parents, right? Yes? But here's the thing. Then don't ask your children either what they want for Christmas. Because if Santa Claus is magic, he already knows that. If you know your children, if you know the people around you and your friends, you don't have to ask. You'll know what they love. You know what they're into at the moment. You know what you should give to your children. That will guide them towards their talents and gifts in the future. Yes? No? Okay. Just say. My granddaughter came to me and she said, so they moved, she's 11 now, and they moved into this nice new home. She says, Grozy, would you make me a rug? Because I crochet these rag rugs. And she says, would you make me? I really would love to have my own rug, right? Yes. So I thought, oh, good Christmas present. She came and she told me. I'd have never guessed that she would actually want one, right? So she came and told me just before Christmas. I have time to make her one. Yes? Oh, kind of cool, right? Yes. Well, anyway. And so wonderful. She's 11 years old. And she knows Grozy well enough. That's Grandma in Swiss. She knows her Grozy well enough that she won't ask for what? I don't know, one of them new expensive toys you can buy them, the next trend or whatever. She knows that's never going to happen when it comes to Grozy, right? Oh, not that I don't want to. I can't. I don't have the money for stuff like that. But she knows Grozy will do that for me. Yes? How cool is that? Well, anyway. So there it is. And I'm going to make the little one, the littlest one. Still, not quite there yet. I'm going to knit tiny little socks. Yes, I know how to knit socks. Anyway. Amazing. And next year, I have a plan. I'm going to make everybody a nativity scene, including myself. All homemade. Yes, made those before too. These probably I'm going to do a little different. I don't know yet. I have no idea. I might make them all different, but that's what I want to do. Yep. Oh. So great. Just love it. Well, anywho. There it is, right? Okay. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. And if you want your children to believe in Santa Claus, don't ask them what they want for Christmas. Just saying. That's such a weird. Whatever. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's all good. Yeah. My children. Mom, is there really a Santa Claus? I said, well, do you want there to be a Santa Claus? Well, yeah. I said, well, then. What makes you happier? To know that, to believe in a Santa Claus? Or not? Well, we like Santa Claus. I said, well, then, let's keep him for a while longer. Then they made the decision. You see? I didn't say yes or no. I just said, well, do you like Santa Claus? Would you rather believe or not believe? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Then the shock when they find out, really, there is no Santa Claus. Isn't that great? Right? Yes? Okay, all right. Anywho, people do funny things out there. Some of the things that people come up with are just weird to me. But, hey, it's there. So, all right. Kind of goes along with that story today, right? God's love blessings always. May protect you, and I will talk to you another time.